The koala is probably one of the first things that people think of when they hear Australia. Found along the eastern and southern coasts of the continent, they have become a famous representative of the land down under. But alongside their famously cute appearance, they have become famous or infamous for a different reason: their incredibly restricted diet. As many of you probably know, koalas eat predominantly from eucalyptus trees. The problem with this being that eucalyptus trees don't seem to make a very effective food source. They're very low in nutrients and also poisonous to most animals, but not the koala bear. But why has this little marsupial developed such a restrictive and difficult feeding strategy? Well, let's find out. Belonging to the family Phascolarctidae, the koala can be found in the tops of trees within Australia's eucalyptus forests, where they will spend most of their day feeding or sleeping. Despite them sometimes being called koala bears, they share no close relationship with them at all. In fact, the koala's closest living relative is the family Vombatidae, which comprises of the modern day wombats. Despite me saying closest living relative, the split between the two families occurred a long time ago. 40 million years ago during the Eocene to be precise, which is supported by the oldest fossils attributed to the two families being dated to the late Oligocene. At this time, there were several species attributed to multiple genera within Phascolarctidae, which would have inhabited the rainforest that covered most of Australia. During the late Oligocene to early Miocene, the climate of Earth would have been much cooler, and as a result, rainforests would have been very common across areas of the world, and for Australia, this is supported by the number of obligate rainforest taxa found at sites such as Riversleigh in Queensland. Genera such as Prisca koala and Leto koala show us that these early ancestors possessed the solenodont-shaped teeth seen in modern koalas, indicating that they too would have been feeding on leaves. However, it's not likely that they would have been feeding exclusively on eucalyptus just yet, as the plant wasn't nearly as widespread as it is today. So, with all these genera present in a similar environment, and them occupying a similar niche, how did they coexist? Well, for one, despite having a wide range, the fossils have a very limited distribution within the sites, which is possibly due to competition from other marsupials, such as possums. Secondly, the species show differences in size, which may represent a case of niche partitioning. Unfortunately for these species, however, their environment was about to change. As the Miocene continued, global temperatures began to climb, slowly taking the Australian rainforest with it, and as a result, leading to the spread of grasslands and, importantly for koala evolution, eucalyptus forests. With the forest expansion in the Miocene, it is in the following Pliocene that we get the first species attributed to the modern genus. The species P. maris, P. yorkensis, and P. citrioni are all known from this time period. However, majority are known from very little remains, with P. maris only being known from a single tooth. It would appear that as eucalyptus spread, the koala evolved to take advantage of the new food source, which explains its diversity, but today only one species remains, P. cinereus, which appeared sometime during the Pleistocene and today can eat upwards of 40 kilograms of eucalyptus leaves a day. So how does it do this? Well, firstly, they have to get round the fact that the leaves are low in protein, high in fibre, highly toxic, and contain tannins which reduce the availability of other minerals. A simple task, as you can imagine. Well, for the koalas, it is. To begin with, koalas have been observed foraging only on certain species of trees that have higher levels of protein and phosphorus and relatively lower levels of fibre. Along with this, they will also feed on younger leaves, which possess higher levels of these nutrients and high amounts of water. It should be pointed out, however, that all these findings were done on captive populations and may not entirely reflect what the wild population does, but it is a start. Along with this tactic, koalas also possess a higher level of taste buds that can pick up bitter and sweet tastes. allowing them to test at least nutritional content before consumption. They also have several genes that help detoxify the leaves within the animal's incredibly large cecum. This is a part of the large intestine, and in koalas, it makes up 20% of the organ's total size. This region acts as a fermentation chamber, holding the food within and allowing the microbes to break down the cellulose and detoxify the leaves. So with all these adaptations required to do the basic necessity of eating, you may be wondering, why even eat eucalyptus in the first place? Well, simply put, koalas didn't have much say on the matter. As mentioned, during the Miocene, the global temperature increased, causing the spread of sclerophyll forests, which are made up of vegetation that are well adapted to dry areas. And in Australia, the eucalyptus makes up most of the plant species in these forests. Plus, with the trees being toxic, not many animals fancy eating them. So, with this niche of toxic leaf eater empty, koalas decided to take advantage, which is quite a good thing, as one koala can eat the equivalent of 50 full-grown eucalyptus trees in a single year, thus providing new growth for the trees and, in the process, breaking off branches that feed insects on the ground. So, whilst their diet may be difficult in some way, it is definitely worth it for the overall health of the ecosystem. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed that video, learning all about the difficult diet of koala bears. If you know anyone else interested in this topic, please send the video their way. And if you're interested in this natural world of ours, please consider subscribing or following the Instagram page in the description below. Until next time, bye bye.